from your news leader.
A man is found dead in his home in Townville. Police are saying it's murder.
Hundreds greeted Pope Francis as he arrived for the first time on U.S. soil. I'm ABC's Karen Travers in Washington, and I'll have more coming up on this historic visit.
Also, there are property taxes coming into the Erie School District. The question tonight, why isn't it enough?
Celebrating 50 years. Your news leader, Jet 24 Action News at 11.
Good evening. I'm Sean Lafferty. Jill McCormick is off tonight. State police say a man was murdered in his home in Townville in Crawford County. It's our top story tonight at 11 o'clock. Jess Dowdrick was at the scene this evening. She joins us now live at the State Police Barracks in Corey with the story. Jess.
Sean, Pennsylvania State Police have confirmed that 74-year-old Kenneth Hallsaver Sr. was found dead in his home on Mercer Road around 12:30 this afternoon. Police could not confirm a cause of death, but they are calling it a murder. Now, this incident happened on the 16,000 block of Mercer Road in Townville, Crawford County. Police say a family member was concerned after Hallsaver did not show up for work this morning. According to police, the family member went to Hallsaver's home and found him dead around 12:30 this afternoon. Neighbors say that concerned family member was Hallsaver's son, Kenny Hallsaver Jr. One neighbor said the son called him this morning asking if he had seen his father after he never showed up for work. The neighbor said he had noticed Hallsaver's white Chevy pickup was still in the driveway at 7 a.m. when he left, but when he came home around 1 p.m., it was gone. Police could not confirm whether or not that truck was stolen or whether or not they are still in search of it. Neighbors say troopers questioned them, asking them if they had seen any suspicious activities or vehicles in that area recently, which they said that they had not. Police say there aren't many details that they can release at this time.
I can't go into the details of what occurred. What I can tell you, it was a homicide, and he is deceased.
And are police searching for a suspect at this time, a known suspect, someone specific you're looking for?
We're actively investigating the scene and the crime, so we're working on all our leads that we have.
Police are asking that if anyone has information that they call the Pennsylvania State Police Corey Barracks at the number on your screen. That is 663-2043. Again, 663-2043. Now, police did say there was a fluid situation around 8 p.m. They would not confirm any details to me. I asked them if neighbors were in any danger. They said it's not a panic situation, but that with any homicide that neighbors should be concerned and look for suspicious activity and make sure that their doors are locked. Sean.
Jess Dowdrick reporting live at the State Police Barracks in Corey. Thank you, Jess. Another man is in custody tonight in connection with a homicide in Edinboro that happened back in November. It's continuing coverage on Jet 24. Ryan Andrews is the third suspect in this case. He was taken into custody in Pittsburgh this morning. He's accused in the shooting death of Tobiah Johnson, who died from a single gunshot wound to his abdomen. Monday morning, another suspect in the case, Michael Barron, turned himself into Edinboro police. 21-year-old Trey Gunter was arraigned back in November on charges of criminal homicide in the case. Ryan Andrews set to be taken to a district justice for arraignment. Pope Francis arrives on American soil for the first time. ABC's Karen Travers reports tonight from Washington.
The historic visit has begun. Pope Francis's plane landing just outside Washington. Thousands on the tarmac to greet him, including President Obama and the First Lady. The first Latin American pope, a Jesuit and former Archbishop of Buenos Aires. Francis has been hailed as a revolutionary by some. Others believe he strayed too far from the church's conservative traditions. Here in Washington, Pope Francis will sit down at the White House with President Obama, who's called Francis a transformative leader. On Thursday, he'll deliver a speech to Congress, a papal first. The pontiff's expected to address a wide range of policy issues, some where he sparked controversy with his progressive views.
I think the things that we'll hear are income disparities and the poor, something about the environment, and then also something about migrants and refugees.
The 6-day, 3-city visit is an immense security operation, one of the largest in U.S. history. Thousands of people are expected to come out in Washington and in New York. In Philadelphia, more than 1 million gathering for an outdoor mass.
It's a tremendous challenge for us. It's all hands on deck.
22% of Americans, nearly 70 million, identify themselves as Catholics. And among them, Pope Francis is immensely popular, credited with sparking significant and, to some, much-needed change. For the first time in 20 years, a majority of American Catholics say the church is in touch with their views. And 9 in 10 say they approve the direction Francis is taking the church. And And true to the humble nature of Pope Francis, this visit won't just be VIP meetings or large speeches. Instead of dining with members of Congress here on Thursday, Pope Francis will leave this building and go to a luncheon with homeless people in a tent set up outside on a street. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Here at home, the Roman Catholic Diocese of Erie is, of course, excited about the papal visit. Father Chris Singer says Pope Francis is one of the most well-known people in the world, of course, so to have him in our country and our state is exciting. He says more than 200 local folks are making the trip to Philadelphia as part of the Erie Catholic Diocese. He says many more are making the trip on their own.
Pope Francis, among his many gifts, is the ability to simply naturally connect with everyone, from the highest leader of state in the world to the most ordinary person like you and me who happens to be on the street.
And for this papal visit, the local Red Cross chapter is deploying volunteers to Philadelphia to help manage the crowds. The volunteers will be helping out with reuniting families lost in the crowd, also supporting shelters, hosting first responders, and assisting with any medical emergencies. These volunteers will be handling the deployment as if it was a disaster situation.
8,000 workers and volunteers are deploying into Philadelphia for the next couple days. Medical personnel, police, the National Guard, and they all need a place to stay. So we have 8 shelters opening up in and outside of Philadelphia.
For more information on what these volunteers will be doing in Philadelphia, visit our website, yourerie.com. The long-debated sale of the Mill Creek Water Authority will take a little longer than first thought. The story is new at 11 o'clock. Tonight, Mill Creek Township supervisors voting to approve a new closing date for the sale to Erie Waterworks. The $22 million transaction now set to close December 18th. According to Supervisor Brian McGrath, the extra time is needed to prepare for billing and also acquaint Erie's personnel with the Mill Creek water system. The original closing date was in October.
As it turns out, there's too much to be accomplished before we could actually close on the sale. So now the closing date has been bumped back to mid-December.
McGrath says the change in the closing was not related to any other votes that have been part of the sale. With the threat of a school district shutdown, it may appear that there's no money for the Erie School District, but taxes are funneling in. City of Erie treasurer says she's released millions of dollars to the district on a weekly basis. So far this month, the city treasurer releasing $6 million to the Erie School District. Another $10 million expected by the end of the month from city property taxes. Just today, the treasurer released $800,000. The superintendent says, though, the property tax money just is not enough.
Our current outstanding balance that we owe Highmark for our health insurance is over $3 million. So that'll certainly help, but again, that's how we're kind of going paycheck to paycheck here, watching the local property tax money come in.
At the start of the school year, the school district was already $6 million in debt. Coming up on Jet 24 Action News, our celebration of 50 years in 50 weeks continues with a day one of our own would probably rather forget. We go back to 1988 after Tom's forecast. And Tom, it's going to keep feeling like summer, isn't it?
That's right. Nothing like a good warming, dry trend over the next week or so. Let's check your trivia. Since tomorrow is the first day of fall, do you remember what the weather was like in Erie on the last year on the first day of fall, a little bit over a year ago? We'll have that answer and your forecast coming right up.
You're watching Sean Lafferty, Jill McCormick, meteorologist Tom Atkins, and Craig Smiley with sports. This is Jet 24 Action News, your news leader.